Honorable Justice Narasimha, Mr. Vinod Kanth, Mr. Siddharth Luthra, Honorable Judges of the Supreme Court of India, Honorable Chief Justices and Judges of the High Courts of Patna, Jharkhand, Delhi, and Chhattisgarh, respected senior members of the Bar, advocates, respected members of the Lokpal of India, dignitaries, elders, closest friends, family, ladies and gentlemen. I am Anushree Tripathi, and it is my great privilege to welcome you all on behalf of my mother, Mrs. Alka Tripathi, my sisters Aditi and Akriti, my brother-in-law Rahul Narayanan, to the inauguration of the Justice Ajay Kumar Tripathi Foundation. Papa spoke very little, laid down two principles and adhered to them inflexibly. These are not my father's words, but of Thomas Jefferson's. But somewhere he hoped the justice delivery system remembers. Once you become flexible with your principles, as an individual or a society, your anchorage is lost, and allegiance to liberty and justice is impossible. The Supreme Court's motto reads, Yato dharmastatato jayaha. Indisputably, justice is the foundation of the civilized society. Through his judgments, his views, his opinions, my father endeavored that the legal profession remains committed to and proactive in rendering and representing justice as its true dharma. We are witnessing tidal change in the state of affairs, including the advent of the socio-economic transformations at a global level. They throw challenges, they also throw opportunities. With the setting up of the foundation, we are taking one such opportunity towards identifying and contributing to structural transformations, enhanced accountability, and capacity building. For my sisters and me, Justice Tripathi was father, friend, family jester, the wallflower, the ultimate traveling companion. A lot of who we are flows from him. We owe him our taste for a nuanced life. He paved the behavioral way for us. His ideals got us the accolades and the honor we continue to gather. He unwaveringly stood for the sense of duty, coupled with sense of self and sense of family. Together with Ma, they instilled patience, honor, resilience, and grace, immense grace in his children. They taught us to show kindness in another's trouble, courage in our own, without fear or ill will. We stand here today before you all, inheriting a world that has already proven that progressing is the only way to put the pieces back together and to create an evolved normal. With this inauguration, we have now taken on a responsibility in my father's name to take on his commitments, his standards, and principles. We took upon this because the pandemic has illuminated not only the fragility of life, but also the vast systemic inequities that define life. Even as we had to slow down to receive this amazing blessing and gift, which is more time, this is what was needed to prepare us and persuade us for a future. This is prayers answered, and the family could not be more grateful to each one of you for your kind presence to support and encourage us for this cause. We are joined today by my father's most valued and closest. I'm immensely beholden by the presence of Shri Vinod Kanth, my father's guru. It is in his chamber that my father started his uplifting adventure of being a lawyer. I welcome you, sir, and I request you to address the gathering with your kind words.
our chief guest, Justice Narasimha, Shri Luthra, my many friends who have retired as the Justices of Supreme Court, many friends who have either retired or who are judges in Patna High Court, and guests. Alka, his three daughters, Anushree, Aditi, Rahul, and Akriti. I'm asked to speak something on Ajay. Ajay I loved as my younger brother. To speak on Ajay is very painful for me. That too, where the preceding 5 years, I lost 3 of them. First I lost my younger brother Vinay on 25th of December 2017. Then I lost Ajay in May 2020. As if it was not enough, the cruel death snatched my smartest and the brilliant surgeon, Munnu, Dr. K.K. Kanth, last year, May 2021. So for a person like me, who is in the evening of his life, 83, a shattered elder brother, when Alka asked me to speak something, it was very difficult for me to speak. But when she has asked me, let me recall what I will be speaking on Ajay. Not Ajay as an erudite scholar of law, not Ajay as a judge, but Ajay, I met him for the first time. Year must be, I reckon, sometime in 1982. When my junior, Chamber junior, Anil Mahato, who is also no more, came to me with a young boy, tall, lanky fellow, Ajay Tripathi. Then he was attached with the chamber of Prabhashankar Bhaiya, well known, better known as Justice P.S. Mishra. He was with him. Next year he was elevated to the bench. Ajay needed a first floor of a house in S.K. Puri, which was owned by a widow, mother of 5 daughters, all in either school going or 2 of them possibly college going. Obviously, she was fiercely protective about her young daughters. She was very reluctant to give that first floor of her house to anyone, that to a young man and a lawyer who are very well known for their notoriety as the tenants in Bihar. If a lawyer, nobody is very keen to give the house on rent to a lawyer in Bihar. He is well known to most of us. I believe Justice P.P. Sinha, Shiv Kirti, Aftab, they all will bear me out. But anyway, I knew the lady vaguely. She was the bhabhi of a friend of mine. Although I was seeing her there for the first time, I didn't know anything about his educational background or his family background. Later on, I came to know that he was a much-married boy. He had already married. Possibly he married when he was a college student. Am I right, Alka? Okay. I took him to that lady with my persuasion, and I standing as a guarantor for him. She gave the house to him. Possibly he stayed there for 2-3 years. I never received any complaint. I am sure she must have found a protective older brother in him for his daughter, for her daughters. That was Ajay. It was in 1982. In 1984, I was designated a senior. In 1985, I moved to Supreme Court for 7 years. So, those 7 years were very meaningful. I spent in Delhi and I returned to Patna. When I returned to Patna, I noticed that Ajay was doing extremely well. And before coming to Delhi, I used to notice about half a dozen young boys huddled together in certain corners of the High Court. They were all educated, they were all law graduates from outside Bihar, either Delhi or somewhere else. To recall a few of them, Navniti was there, Ajay was there, my junior Anil was there, and few more. On my return from Delhi in 92, I found all of them were doing very good. In the meantime, further I noticed one thing, that the corridors of Patna High Court had become very crowded. Courtrooms were jam-packed. If your cases were called out of turn, you felt like hitting a jackpot. That was the situation of Patna High Court. In that crowd, I noticed that Ajay was doing extremely well. He was standing counsel for the Government of India. Later on, he became Additional Advocate General. All these things I am saying because somehow or other, after remaining in Patna High Court for close to 6 decades, I can draw some kind of scenario of Patna High Court. I have seen the richness of bar as well as the bench. Bihar being a state where every young boy wants to be a civil servant, the good brains started being attracted to those services. Still, the euphoria continued till the 70s and early 80s. I have noticed with all pains that in the late 80s and 90s, most of the students who had failed to crack even the secretariat services, they joined this profession. But still, there was an exception. There were a good number of lawyers who had chosen to join the profession, who could easily have got into civil services. They all became judges. Aftab is there, Shiv Kirti is there, Navniti was there, Ajay was there. Ajay's own 2 younger brothers, they were IAS officers. Ajay could easily have become, but he chose to remain a lawyer. So this was a very heartening sign that in late 90s and 2020 and all, good brains, they started choosing this profession as the first love. Ajay was there. When Ajay became a judge in 2006, I was in Patna. I used to watch Ajay between 92 to 2006. Yes, Ajay used to call me, had given me the status of a guru. I don't know why. Because to be very honest with the Ajay's perception about me, between 82 to 85, he had possibly had assisted me in not more than 3 to 4 cases. And after I returned from Delhi in 92, he was opposing me at the central government councils, and he saw to it that I was defeated in not less than 3-4 cases. He was so very well prepared. So only assisting me in 3-4 cases and then giving me the status of a guru, I think that was gracious on his part, not on my part. He was too great a person, too humble a person, too loving a boy. It was his greatness. I always used to watch Ajay. He was getting reliefs from all the courts because he was doing so well. Few things about Ajay as a judge. He was never scared of the bulk of the brief. Even if the brief was running into 700, 800 pages. He had a peculiar knack of a veteran auditor. Just he would flip through the pages and the relevant defect or the relevant point of law would catch his eye. That I had noticed in Ajay. I always feel the hallmark of a good judge has been compassion, and the milk of kindness must flow in the heart of the judiciary forever. Ajay was one of such judges who never allowed milk of kindness to dry in his heart. What more can I say about Ajay? Ajay was too gentle a person. If Binay, my younger brother, was my conscience keeper and someone to discuss constitutional law, although he was a gold medalist in mathematics, Ajay was another person with whom I could discuss any issue on law, even about the courts and the court proceedings. I think Mr. Shivkirti is here, who I have been very close. I never discussed the court or court proceedings with him, ever. But with Ajay I used to. My friend Justice B.P. Singh, who I have already addressed as Bambola, had a fantastic memory. Ajay was matching with you, if I am not mistaken. Ajay I loved. I will not be speaking much about Ajay. Whenever I am in lonely Patna, and I am now lonely, I am a loner now, because my two brothers and Ajay, they have all gone. I am generally very lonely. Generally I am lonely, absolutely lonely in Patna. I wish you could have been here. Anyway, not more on Ajay. Thank you. Thank you.